Good evening, world, and good evening, Eden community. We're back with our webinar series, and tonight we will be talking about the project evolution with the COO, Chief Operating Officer of Prisma Analytics, Mr. Jalali, and the Chief Financial Officer of Prisma Analytics, Mr. Thomas Seitter. We're going to start today's webinar, this evening's webinar, with an introduction from both of them. And we will follow in traditional form as we have in the past, guys, those of you who have been with us previously, with some question and answer, thus allowing some engagement with our community. So at this point, guys, I will turn this over to you, Sia. Please go ahead and introduce yourself and take off with your piece.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jalali, and I am the CEO of Prisma Analytics based in Germany. It's my pleasure to be here today, and it's an honor to be able to give you the latest updates regarding our continuous improvement and our progress monitor regarding the Edain project. Before I start, in order to give you some updates regarding the latest topics that we have achieved, I just want to put one thing in place up front, and that is I want to thank you all. I want to thank you for your support, and I want to thank you for your continuous trust in this project, as we are seeing that this community is growing day by day and is becoming overwhelming for all of us. That it means that a certain level and benchmark of understanding of the fundamental of this project and the vision and the mission that we have put in front of ourselves at the beginning is going to be achieved right now. So I just have to admit one thing to you. As much as we are teaching the word about the Edain and the knowledge word, we are also learning from our community to develop this project further on. As our community is growing, and it's a multicultural community coming from all over the place from this globe, we are learning from the input and the guidance that you are giving us, and we are finding the right way in order to achieve the targets that we have set in front of us. So again, I want to thank all of you for your continuous support so far. First of all, I want to give you the latest updates regarding our partnerships. As you may know, we have a major partner set that we have brought into this project and created a kind of ecosystem that is going to present the value of the Edain project at the end of the day. All of these partners that we have chosen are strong, have a high profile, and they are subject matter experts with the reputations that they have in their desired fields. I would like to start with our mother company, Patentpool Group. Patentpool Group is a venture capital venture based in Germany who is hosting and incubating Prisma Analytics now since 5 years. Patentpool Group is helping us by means of funds, know-how, and a broad network that has been transforming innovations into marketable technologies and products for more than 2 decades. So with the help of Patentpool, we are really on the right track. Secondly, I want to switch to one of our new candidates that is going to be a part of this project very soon. As you may have seen this in our Dubai event, the United Nations Global Sustainability Index Institute, led by Mr. Roland Schatz, has been volunteered to be our partner and offer the Edain's knowledge word and give us a home for that. As you may know, this organization's UNGSII is going to provide us with all the informations and documents that the United Nations is collecting since 1946. This is exactly the kind of information and knowledge and assets that we want to make an offer to the entire world later on. So this is an incredible asset for us in order to get access to these kinds of informations and documents and knowledge. Next one on my list is the Refinitiv group. I don't know if you know this history of Refinitiv. Refinitiv is the previous Thomson Reuters, and they are now a part of London Stock Exchange Group. Thomson Reuters has a market share of up to 45% for the financial terminals for all the financial professionals around the globe. They have more than 300,000 installations of their terminals and softwares. By this partnership, Refinitiv is going to offer, as the very first partner among our partners, the very first commercial application based on C+8 technology, which is going to be dedicated for the financial markets. We are very happy to be able to place this application as one of our first B2B applications at the same time, which is the deadline on the 30th of March 22. Next one on my list, and regarding this topic, I think we have released a press release on Monday this week, is the Dell Technologies. As you have may seen, Dell Technologies was also presenting themselves among the online event that we have held back in September. Dell Technologies is our partner for the hardware side of the technology. Because we are creating a very specified, customized software that is going to bring high-performing results, we need at the same time also a hardware which is customized for this software. Dell Technologies has started to do the proof of concept, and today morning I have received the feedback that in the next days we will get the results from this point of proof of concept testing, which has been done back in their offices and labs in Palo Alto and California. So again, to just make it clear, Dell Technologies is providing hardware to Prisma Analytics since more than 5 years. And now after introducing the Edain project, they will be still at our side as our hardware partners. Last but not least, for the blockchain technology, cybersecurity, and trading system, we have our CryptoDATA technology as our partners. As you may know, without the help of CryptoDATA technologies, we will not able to reach this milestone so far that we have reached, and we will not be able to combine our specialties, which was mainly focused on NLP and artificial intelligence, now combining with blockchain and cybersecurity. So all in all, as you have just heard, these are the list of the partners currently that we have, and we are hoping to get more and more within the time. Next, I want to give you a kind of update regarding the progress at the technological level. I'm going to keep this very high level because if we go into the details, this is going to be a little bit boring for you. But just in terms of the analysis that we are doing for big data, you know that there are a couple of challenges that we were facing in the past, and that is to find a scalable data platform that can, at one side, accommodate and integrate all the relevant data, and at the other side also handle the rapid changes in terms of growth of the data, either in traffic and volume. We have been able to overcome this obstacle. And for this reason, we needed to do some changes in our software architecture and bring in now the distributed computing frameworks in combination with microservices that we have created. This means that we will have a bunch of multiple software components that are spread along the cloud system, but at the end of the day, these microsystems are working as a single organism. We have also had a number of updates in our tech stack, which means that we have started to integrate and use a number of new programming languages, SDKs, APIs, and machine learning models, so that we are now at the edge of the state-of-the-art technologies that we are using for our C+8 platform. Having said that, we have also now introduced our new cloud infrastructure. In the past, we have done all our proof of concept and prototyping on the on-premise machines. But now that we are in the production phase of our applications, we have the on-premise and the cloud architecture at the same time, testing this in both environments. For the cloud service infrastructure that we have put together, we have introduced a number of cloud native applications and customized services that are working hand in hand and are going to be finalized at the end of this month. Moving forward, we have touched the design and this architecture of our database. We must be able to scale this data that we are observing on a day-to-day basis on the vertical and horizontal level. For this purpose, we have changed the architecture to the extent that the scaling is going to be possible in both directions. While a traditional data warehouse system is saving all the data in hierarchical dimensions, what we are doing is just using a very flat storing data mechanism, but instead of just storing all the data in a hierarchical way, we do it with objects that are intelligent and smart. I just give you an example. Once we see in a text or in a piece of information an entity, an event, a person, we label it with a very unique number out of a protocol and save it just once as a tree structure in this as an object. Within the time when we get more and more information regarding this one object, let's take Elon Musk, this tree is going to be populated more and more with information so that this whole database system, which is a smart dynamic database system, is going to get smarter and smarter. And for all of these approaches, we have patents that have been filed and are unique. And this because the need of having customized hardware, which is fixed to this software approach, is very important and relevant. Finally, we are also in the final stages of building the data flow in the backend of the system, and the links between the applications are going to be closed within the next 10 to 15 days. So again, you are seeing that we are on the right track. We are even a little bit ahead of our roadmap, which is making us very happy. And we are working long hours here, me, my team, and the entire development team that is supporting us in order to meet our target, which is publishing the Edain keys together with the smart applications at the end of March 22. Let me move on and tell you what we have achieved in terms of sales. With your help, with your trust, and with your support, we have achieved to sell more than 80% of the Edain tradable license keys, which were available for sales up to now in the early 1, 2, and 3 phase of our pre-sales period. You deserve all the credit, and I just wanted to thank you again, because without this support and without this huge interest that you have shown for this project, we couldn't achieve all of these milestones. So thank you very much for this again. Having said that, this is raising our expectations for the remaining period of this pre-sale phase, which is till end of March. So again, thank you very much. And without all of this support, none of this could happen. The last topic is regarding our applications developments that are going to be launched at the end of March. A number of C+8 based applications are going to be started to be released from this date, 30th of March 2022. We will start with the first application, which is called Decision Point. These applications will deliver real-time result to both human and machine queries and will handle the queries which are going to provide to give the necessary information out of our knowledge vault databases. Right now, we are at the testing phase of at least 2 of these applications that are going to be launched very soon. The testing phase 1 has been completed at the middle of December. Basically, we are going to complete the second phase of testing, which is split into 20%, which is automated testing, and 80%, which is human-driven testing, in order to find out all the gaps and necessary adjustment that we need for them. And the phase 3 of testing will basically start at the end of January and be completed on the 15th of March, so that we have a buffer time like for 2 weeks before we launch the production applications. So as you can see, our expectations for this remaining period until the public launch are significantly higher now, and we encourage you to support us for all these matters in order that we will achieve the goal, and that is bringing these license keys and the related applications to enable the world to get access to the knowledge of this world, which was till now hidden and just for certain individuals or organizations. I want to close my speech with the mission and the vision that we have in this project. As you may all know, knowledge is power. And what Edain project is all about is giving access to knowledge to each and every individual on this world. With this approach, I think we will touch the human history, and we will raise up a kind of story which was a part of our history back in ancient times. If you can remember, we have had this approach once, like the library in Alexandria in Egypt. This is going to be the digital version of that. And again, we need all your help in order to achieve these targets. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I am proud to be a member of this team. This is the most excited job that I have ever had in my entire career. And I really want to thank you again for all this overwhelming support up to this point. Thank you very much. Having said that, I will pass over to Chris, and then after that to my colleague, Thomas Seitter, who is the CFO of Prisma Analytics and taking care of the financial aspects of Edain projects. Thank you very much.
Yeah, again, Sia, thanks so much for your contribution, your message. We're going to move on with Thomas Seitter, as he's just mentioned. Thomas has got his own message for you, and again, guys, per normal, we will go to a question and answer session immediately after Thomas's speech here and his relay of information. So Thomas, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you, buddy.
Thank you, Chris. Good evening. My name is Thomas Seitter. I'm the CFO of Prisma Analytics. A lot of points have been touched upon by my colleagues here in terms of the Edain project's evolution and current progress. I'm here to discuss what is going to happen after the 30th of March, after the public launch in terms of staking, anti-dump strategy, blockchain technology, AI training, and the way we want to increase the value of knowledge. Firstly, let's dive right into the staking subject, which I think it's extremely important for many members of our community. The architecture of the Edain ecosystem is based on the proof of stake concept in order to ensure sustainable and high performance development. The tradable license key represents the native Edain systems key, which unlocks the knowledge to facilitate the process of decision making. The proof of stake system provides stability in the TLK validation, as it real benefits for those who continue to stake and reduces the possibility of voluntary intervention. and that protects our Edain community. To incentivize the Edain holders, we have allocated a 10% from the total maximum supply for staking rewards in the form of additional Edain or Edain. The staking period will start on Edain's public launch day, and it has not a pre-established ending period. The staking process will end when the total limit of 470 million Edains will be reached. For buyers that have acquired Edain during the pre-sale period, the quantity available for staking is calculated based on the percentage of Edain released every quarter. You can find it on the vesting schedule. There's no minimum time limit for staking, and any Edain holder can claim the reward if it chooses to unstake. Buyers who acquire Edain after the pre-sale period can stake any amount they wish, as the difference between the total maximum supply and the circulating supply of Edain can be allocated to staking. So far, as my colleague Sia said earlier, 80% of all the Edain tradable license keys available for the sale in the first 3 distribution periods have been acquired by the community. That means that the remaining 20% will be distributed to the staking pool. I can give you a few reasons why you should stake Edain. At first, you will be an early adopter of a game-changing technology. And secondly, you will be an active participant of our global knowledge network by staking your Edain and maintaining the stability of the entire amount of TL keys in the market. Also, in the context of community benefits and safeguarding holders' assets, we have developed an anti-dumping strategy by implementing a 2-year vesting period. We use the term vesting period to describe how Edain purchased during the pre-sale period are managed through a periodic selling strategy. The vesting period will be divided into 8 quarters, and with every new release of vested tradable license keys, the full amount can be staked by the owner. We use a vesting strategy to protect early buyers against predatory strategies, and it applies to Edain's units that were purchased during the Edain pre-sale. This strategy was implemented as we are operating in an open market. Both staking and vesting strategies have been implemented with all of you. As you choose to put your trust in our project, we, as representatives of Edain, have always acted in good faith and taken measures to ensure the digital safety of your Edain assets. The community's invested trust and support in the project will increase in the value of the knowledge that Edain ecosystem will soon enable access to. In the world today, the supply and demand concept is one of the most fundamental principles of economics, but it is one of the most crucial aspects. Equally important to know what a community you are part of it. What do I want to say with this? Simply put, for example, if the community's invested trust reaches a high level and continues to remain at that level, the demand and also the supply will directly proportionally increase. In return, through our community, we will be able to increase the value of knowledge even further, as there is only a limited number of Edain. The number of Edain has already been written in Edain's smart contract and cannot be changed. So let's come into the blockchain technology points. Smart contracts and blockchain technology have now extended their applicability far more beyond the crypto world, support and transfer, having the potential to penetrate a variety of industries. As this technology is based on a digital, transparent, and distributed ledger secured through encryption, it has high potential to streamline all industry and business processes, providing full transparency and security. An example of blockchain's extended applicability would be compliance tracking, payments and pricing transparency, a very good thing for all of us as active members of the system. But still, even though blockchain technology is the right choice, it is not a fully developed technology, as it still encounters difficulties once it becomes scalable and is utilized more and more frequently for solving complex human requirements. On the current blockchains, the commonly encountered setback is represented by the use of the proof of work consensus algorithm. The creators of blockchain needed a way to confirm transactions without the involvement of financial institutions. The first solution of this challenge was called proof of work. So this is a form of adding new blocks of transactions to a cryptocurrency's blockchain. The work in this case is generating a hash that matches the target hash for the current block. This approach is inefficient as it requires high energy usage, has slow transaction speed, and it has expensive fees. For both the Edain ecosystem and the Edain community to benefit from blockchain technology, we need to consider thoroughly if it is necessary to develop our own blockchain in order to reduce the transaction fees and the validation time. Currently, we are analyzing the offers of several decentralized and centralized exchanges in order to make the best decision. We would like to inform you that Edain will be listed on several exchanges to grow the community and facilitate the use of Edain on several platforms. We are now in the middle of the pre-sale period, and there's still time to tackle the best strategy. Currently, we analyze some approaches. We think about developing our own chain to minimize transaction fees as much as possible. We are currently working on a test chain to verify the scalability, security, and transfer speed. An alternative way is to make a partnership with an existing chain to ensure a high-performing infrastructure. Currently testing for several chains to see the ease of integration with this centralized and decentralized exchanges. And another important aspect when we do this, or when we think about this, is that a community around this chain. So we have to keep that in mind. And another solution could be the Ethereum chain that is also analyzed as it has the fastest integration and the largest community. Any change or strategic decision will be discussed with the community, and all the positive and negative aspects will be presented to make the best decision. So, coming to my last topic, I want to say something about our artificial intelligence. This technology has become increasingly more advanced in the recent years. In the world of big data analysis, as in our case with the Edain ecosystem, machine learning is probably its most popular application, since it can establish patterns and connections between an incredibly high number of data points. We use AI machine learning models in our system on textual and financial data to achieve higher levels of emotion detection than previously available with standard NLP approaches. And we use predictive models for the stock market based on use, as this correlation has been shown in the literature to be statistically relevant. What kind of AI we're using? We use a supervised deep learning approach for emotion detection and an ensemble learning approach to make predictions. The latter consists of supervised regression models in a joint architecture with a complex data engineering process and various NLP models. Our entire system is based on cloud-native microservices in data engineering pipelines, orchestrated through an event-driven architecture. The AI training process happens naturally on the cloud as well. Data is being fed into our data lake as part of our extraction process, from where it is being read into our distributed computing platforms. That is where most of the data engineering happens. Data has to be cleaned, analyzed, and prepared. When it is ready, it is split between training and testing. batches and sent to AI training. The models try to fit the training batch and use the testing one to verify their outputs and measure accuracy scores. Models are then versioned and stored separately in the containers from where we can do API calls to them. So we set up the entire infrastructure on the cloud. Our extract, transform, and load pipelines are connected to our data gathering modules and serve the data lake with databases that the microservice is connected to. Our entire software development and testing lifecycle is fully automated. So, but how accurate are our predictions? We are using and training a wide range of machine learning models, including neural networks for word embeddings, NLP models for named entity recognition, text summarization, and keyword extraction, and multi-classifiers based on generalized logistic regression in deep neural networks. We are on average between 87 and 90% accurate at this stage of development. We are constantly working on to improve this, but as it is well known, we are working hard to avoid overfitting our models. Thank you for your attention, and I want to share with all of you, that I'm honored to be a part of this revolutionary project. Hopefully through Edain, we will help the world to be better. Thank you. So, Chris, now it's your turn.
Hi guys. Just fidgeting with my mute button. My apologies, and my video button. Technology's good when it works, right? Thomas, thank you. Great update. I know you're addressing a lot of questions that people have had really since we first rolled Edain out on our launch on September the 29th. A lot of people have been asking some more specific questions about the technology and how we process data, and what the future of Edain products looks like. And so this was obviously probably our most thorough address of these issues. And Thomas, you did a great job. Thank you. So folks, we're going to move into the question and answer session. And those of you, again, who've been with us before, you kind of know how this works. And again, it works when it works. We do have some people in the room with us. And as I understand it, and I would ask those of you that are here to turn your video on, however, stay muted, if you would please, until I ask for you to participate and introduce your questions. So with us this evening should be Mr. Nemes Saba, Maria Magurian, Stefan Philippes, Adrian Verlan, and Sala Mukles. And please forgive me if I have erred in my pronunciation of your name. I kind of get these at the end and have done my best. Can those of you that I've just identified acknowledge that you're here on the call with us in Zoom, please? Nemes, are you here? Or Maria? Stefan?
Yes, hello.
Yes, hello.
Hi, Maria. Welcome.
Hi, Maria.
Welcome to the Edain webinar.
Thank you.
Very, very pleased to have you with us. Do we have any of the others here? Adrian, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Aha, there he is. Hi, Adrian. We'll get to you,
Hello.
don't worry. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, super. Yeah, I got you. You're loud and clear. Stefan, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, well, we're getting plugged in. And lastly, Sala, are you with us, Sala? Okay, well, listen, we'll go with those of you that are live with us, and maybe the others will log in. Maria, let's start with you. I know you've got a question prepared, And I believe, well, go ahead, Maria. Please present the panel with your questions. Maria?
Yes, yes. So
There
I
you go.
have a question.
Sure.
This would be, not every human uses or has access to the internet. What is your plan to reach them?
May I take this one, Prisma?
Sure, go ahead, Sian.
So thank you very much, Maria, for raising this question. So my answer to this is basically the knowledge gap does not start or stop with internet connectivity. We have had this gap of knowledge even in the past. The problem is a bit deeper than just mentioned. Having said that, I think if you take a look at the number of new internet users that come to the market on a daily basis, and in combination with the population on the global level, if you do this math, then you will realize that every day we have a growth of adding 400,000 new internet users to the global internet network. So this gap is getting closer and closer by the time. Having said that, yes, you are right. The access to the knowledge world is today only accessible through internet. But I think once we start this project, within a year, this whole community will grow to a level where we can easily fill in these gaps. And as I said at the beginning of my answer, also take a look at the additional growing users that on a daily basis are getting added to the global community. So I think at some point we will match and fill up this gap. And for the time being, the connectivity and the access to the knowledge is over internet. But even right now, if somebody is somewhere without having any internet, but is going to hear about our knowledge world, there are possibilities to get access to it to somebody else or in a manual way and get that piece of information that they need to do a precise decision, which is going to improve their decision-making in the future. So this is what I have to say in regards of this question. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much
Maria,
for your answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. Of course, we've had this or seen this question from others in the past, and the reality is that we're not able to control everything. Certainly, there is an unconnected part of the world. It is shrinking. It's shrinking rather quickly, as he has noted. And we are, users of the Knowledge Vault and lots of other digital solutions and technologies are contingent upon, internet accessibility. However, I think it's a reasonable assumption to make that if we could plug the entire world in that is connected, we would have a very different looking world, to say the very least. So, Maria, thanks so much for your question. We're going to move now to Stefan. Can you unmute yourself, Stefan?
Yes, sure. So I have a question about the future, because I saw many projects that initially developed well, but were suddenly abandoned. So I was wondering, how will you manage to the project to get your position on the market and become a good project in the blockchain world?
Sure. Thomas, I think this is maybe something that you can.
This is something I'm gonna answer. And Prisma Analytics, for its part, is very deeply invested in the Edain project itself. So, and that means both in terms of times and also financially. So we invested more than 5 years in Prisma and more than 50 million euros up to date. And just for developing the core technology behind Edain, so the whole Prisma setup. To the extent that we have a long-term investment ourselves, and we have a founding team comprised of very accomplished entrepreneurs and innovators, we stand in a very good position in this respect. From a project management perspective, we feel confident that we have a good plan, and we further have a really solid network of partners that support our project in various ways that give a credence to probability of success. So again, remembering that Edain is a long-term project with lots of benchmark goals along the way, and understanding the current position of the blockchain market, we honestly feel good out our prospects.
Okay, Thomas, thank you for that. Maria, were you present for the reply?
Yeah, I was here. It was my question.
Sorry.
It was
Yeah,
Stefan.
sorry, Stefan.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I don't believe anybody else is on the call. Nemes never logged on. Nemes, are you not here?
I'm here.
You are here. Okay.
Yes. Hi.
And you're unmuted. Listen, I know
Yes.
you've got a question. Please go ahead and introduce your question to the panel here.
Okay, I have another question for today. When will we see it launched, the big platforms like Coinbase, Binance?
Maybe I will take this one.
Yeah, okay.
So basically, after going public at the 30th of March of 22, we will go to different exchange platforms for the beginning. And regarding our planning, I think in 2 or 3 weeks after this announcement at the end of March, we will be on the major platforms like Binance and Coinbase, so to say, probably. But we are now working on this. 100% this will happen. For the beginning, it will be some other platforms, but it will be at the end of the day, the approach of offering Edain on multiple platforms, and also the very big ones with the good reputations. So to answer this again in a very short form, I think after the going public, latest in 2 to 3 weeks, we will be on all the major platforms.
Okay, thank you.
Please.
Yeah, and suffice to say that, you know, as soon as those commitments are made, we will make those announcements. You know, it's a bit premature. Yeah, I think the best thing to say is that certainly we're aware of the value of some of the regulated exchange or some of the larger exchanges. There's certainly places that we hope to be with Edain, and when those commitments are able to be made, certainly the community will be made aware of them. We'll move into the next question from Salah. As I understand, he's not able to be present.
I'm here. Hello,
oh, you
sorry.
are here. I'm sorry. I
I'm
thought
here.
you were Stefan.
That's not them. No, I'm Salah.
You are. Okay, Salah, I heard you had mic problems. Okay, go ahead with your question then.
Now
Salah.
everything is working. Sorry, everything is working.
Okay,
My mic was off. Good evening, everyone. I just have 2 questions, please. First question is divided into 2 parts. What is the competitive advantage of Edain against other search engines like Google, for example? And what makes it unique against other competitors? The second question is, where do you see Edain as a company in 5 years period?
Chris, I will also take this one if it is okay.
Sure.
So many thanks, Salah, for raising up and bringing these questions.
Thank you.
First of all, there is a big distinguish between what Google is doing and what we are doing. Google is a search engine, which is basically based on searching strings within the text. Like you give a text and then the machine starts the searching and then gives you an output of all those links where they have founded this piece of text. What we are doing is a bit different. We are not a search engine. We are doing this based on the C+8 terminology and platform, which is we are looking for causations within events and all the other factors that we are searching. In simple form, we are giving you that piece of information that you didn't knew before. So because the human brain is not capable of observing all the information which is coming out on a daily basis and cannot go through all of that and make its conclusions, machine learning is going to do this for you. And machine learning is going to give you that piece of information that you were looking for. I give you a very basic example. You are looking for any connections of Tesla and Elon Musk with relation of public sector fundings in Germany, let's say, okay? So within this Q-search software that you will see very soon, you can give Elon Musk events and let's say a public sector, and you will see a galaxy which is formed in a three-dimensional form. And then you will see the pieces that who is connected to all of these objects. And you will see that piece which is the gap of information that you have not had before. It's a very smart solution, and it's not just based on simple text finding queries. Okay, having said that, what are our USPs? I think we have three major USPs within this project that we are following. The first one is the generalization of unstructured data. Like our workers collect data, text, very soon images, sounds, and when we generalize this whole unstructured data into a format which we can use. It's a little bit complex with the machine learning approaches, but I try to put it in a very simple way. The second one is the ability for data to be self-organized without any human biases. Like within the neuronal networks and the machine learning that we are doing, this is done without any bias from the human side. And the third one that I wanted to mention is the ability to measure knowledge in a standardized way. Like you can measure how much knowledge increase you have had in a certain topic or object within the time, which was not possible before this. I hope that I have found some relevant topics for your first question. And regarding your second question, where we see Edain as a company or as a project in the next 5 years. So this is my opinion to this whole thing. Once we start with bringing the applications to the market, which is just a vehicle and a tool in order that with the usage of the Edain software keys, you have access to the knowledge vault. So you have to see the knowledge vault as the data lake database, which is a smart database. You need to have access to this smart database, which is going to happen with the help of the C+8 applications that are going to come out. This is going to be a revolution within the next 5 years. These knowledge words, which are dedicated for different topics, they are going to grow. They are going to be smarter, and they're going to have more and more information. At the other side, the applications are also going to be getting more and more smart. And all you need in order to access that piece of information which is going to ease your decision making is just having Edains. So the ecosystem is very clear, the cycle is very clear, and I think within the next 5 years, these databases will be at the level in smartness and in the content that it will be a very, very outstanding project, and the world will have and see the effects of this whole thing. I hope that I could answer to maximum extent your question.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you for taking your time.
Thanks, Solon. Thank you.
Thank you.
We've got a couple left here, guys. We've got Adrian Virlan. Adrian, did you happen to come live with us on Zoom?
Yes.
Okay, you're here. Fantastic.
Yes.
Adrian, go ahead. I understand that you've got a question.
Yes, I have a question. I've just received the answer earlier on the second question, but I want to ask, will the C+8 engine be available for other projects or just for Edain? For this, I'm thinking on a national health database or something similar that could benefit of the machine learning stuff here.
I may take this one also.
Okay, sure, go ahead, Sia.
So basically, and I'm sorry if we were not able to position this right from the beginning. C+8 technology and the kind of database, dynamic smart database that we're setting up, which is at the end of the day going to be branded as knowledge word, all the fundamental components of our project at Prisma Analytics. It's not just only for Edain, it's also going to be served for a number of additional applications that are going to use this technology and platform in B2B and B2C sector. So it will start with the Edain and applications which are based on Edain, but it will expand and go also further on. And at some point, we will also have third-party application developers that are just going to use this license and develop their own applications based on their C+8 technology and engine.
Okay, clear for me.
What's that, Adrian? I'm sorry.
It's clear for me.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Yeah, and bear in mind, those of you participating with us tonight, C+8 is a technology that's been developed, and Edain was developed as a project and an entity to solve some of the world's more systemic problems, originating from the lack of knowledge transfer or the lack of accessibility to knowledge. Knowledge very much being a currency in the world today that isn't widely shared or distributed. There will be others that follow, no doubt. But wherever C+8 can help, wherever C+8 can find a place in the global community to help create a more sustainable world, a more peaceful world, C+8 will be made available. Certainly starting with Edain. And Edain through other partnerships will certainly work with other partners to solve problems where it's able to do so. We're going to move to a last question at this point now that came to us through YouTube through viewer Clatoshe. The question is, and Sia, perhaps this can be for you as well. When will the demo apps on the Edain website be available again?
Well, because we have now been moving from the prototyping into the production side, if you can have a look on our website, we have put now the labeling of maintenance. So it's now going to take a while, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, till we can come up with these teasers. But having said that, the real applications, so the production releases are going to be available, as I said, right on time, without any delays at the end of March. So, and that we hope that we can show the most effect based on those applications. Having said that, again, we are trying our best to put these teasers up again within the next 2 or 3 weeks. Let's see how it goes, because we are very, very, very now strict in terms of the deadlines that we have in order to come up with Edain, minting Edain, going public with the Edain, and at the same time bringing the applications out. So we have a very tight schedule right now, which we are now following, and we have met all the targets. But anyway, I think because I have had this discussion today also with my colleagues, they are working on this, and I hope that within the next 3 to 4 weeks, the teasers will be up. Let's hope the best. Otherwise, the real applications, as I said, are going to be released at the end of March.
Great. And guys, I was given a message here that there were a couple of other people that were attempting to log on with us before we hit the hour mark here. Do we have anybody in the background, Sarah or Thomas? Do we know if the other 2 people have made it into Zoom? Is anybody else on with us? No. Okay. Guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this evening's webinar. We are at the hour mark, or nearly at this point anyway. We are very hopeful that this was informative for those of you. The webinars are back by request, and as we sort of have crested the halfway point of the pre-sale, and a lot of momentum has been generated, as Sia has alluded, in the beginning statement that he made.
That's right.
Yeah, it's, really can't say enough about, the importance of our community, as is the case with any project or product or organization. Community equals critical mass, and you don't go anywhere without critical mass. And I can just tell you guys see the numbers through the social media channels that we use and provide for the community to communicate. They've all grown quite substantially. We've got a lot of people now that are actively participating on a very regular basis. And yeah, it's been an amazing process, and really what is a very short time. So the story is resonating. I think it's important that we have opportunities to connect with the community such as we are right now. And as we have in the past with our AMAs through social media and the other webinars. We will continue to have them. The next webinar, just for the record, will be January the 20th, where we will discuss and debate decision points. As Sia and Thomas both mentioned, the first application that will be released following the end of the pre-sale, and we will start to provide more detail and definition about decision point, while also allowing question and answer about the application. So folks, for now, we're going to sign off. I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
On behalf of Sia Jalali, our COO at Prisma Analytics, Thomas Seitter, our CFO, and all the group in the background, Sarah, Thomas, and everybody else standing by in support of this, we wish you all a good evening, and we'll see you on January the 20th for Decision Point. Thanks so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for taking your time. I just wanted to add that the next session regarding Decision Point is going to be so excited. Please take your time and log in, because what we are going to show there is going to be phenomenal, what you have never seen before in terms of sentiment analysis and fundamental analysis for the stocks. Thank you.
Thank you too.